YouTube, what's going on? We back with another video. In this video, I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I did today. And to be honest, I didn't win my trade today. And I'm always going to be honest with y'all, be transparent on this YouTube channel. So this is for the ones that want to grow with me, that are just starting off. I've been in this game for about a little bit over a year, going up on a year and a half. But I too still make mistakes, and I'm still getting better. Just trying to get a better understanding of things and understand that you can ask for a bunch of money in this market to use like capital. You can ask for a bunch of capital, but in the end, what's going to happen is you're going to end up losing it all if you don't know how to properly manage, your risk. If you don't know how to do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up in a situation to where you risk, 5,000 and you're like, okay, well, I wanted to pull back. Understand the more you risk, the more you can lose. Yes, the more you can gain as well. But if you risk more, you have the opportunity to lose more. So if you can't manage, $100, $500, you are not going to be able to manage, 5,000, 10,000. You just think that everything is going to go to 100%, but you, in your mind, if you don't have the psychology down, you're not going to be able to hold, a drawdown of 2,500. Because if you risk 10,000 and then the drawdown is 2,500, if you would have risked 1,000, you would have been down 250. Which is much more to stomach. If you put 100, you would have been down $25. So you got to look at it that way. So when your capital is up there and then you can trade big like that, then that's when it really truly comes in effect and it matters. But I am going to break down my trade that I took for y'all today. Same exact setup that I took yesterday. There is nothing different. I literally took this trade the same as I did yesterday. Today, my stop loss was just way too close. And when I say way too close, I put it at the high of a 15-minute candle instead of putting it at the peak of my 15-minute swing high. So I took a put. I was in the right direction, as you can see when we play it out. I'll tell you exactly where I got in at. I'll mark where my stop loss was, and then you can see where it got taken out and how it touched that level and continued to go down. First, I want to put up on the screen exactly what I talked about today as far as in the market. So let's put that on the screen. Let's go look it up real quick because I want to give you my market analysis. I already have the screen all charted out, as you can see. And my market analysis today was, you can see here, it was, make sure I get that. All right. So I said, good morning. We are sitting in a zone right now that we need to break out of to get big moves in either direction. Above 752.53. Look for 755.43 in between 757.07. Below that, what we are looking for is going to be 749.75 to look for 748.83 to 748.17. If that does not hold, then we are looking to fill the gap. And what I mean by a gap, as you can see here, I have it all marked out. Same exact chart as what you're looking at here. Nothing's different. The only thing missing is the yellow box at the top of it that you can see. But that's what I posted. I also posted it in the Discord as well. Now, all I'm waiting for right now, we need either higher highs or higher lows. And right now, I'm only looking at it needs to pass. What I needed to pass right now is going to be, it's going to need to pass this higher high right here. Now, once it gets above there, that's when we're targeting the upside, okay? But the moment that we break this level here, then what I'm looking for is a push to the downside here. And the moment we break this level and we get a break, a retest, and then continue to go down. So it needs to look something like this. Hopefully sometimes I have problems when I'm trying to put this chart here. But you want it to go down like, okay. See if I can get this working. So you want it to break like this, come up, and then come back down. That's what you're looking for, right? And also, if it hits here, you want it to tap this zone and come back down. And then this is your entry point right here. This is your entry point. As soon as it breaks that line, and you want to take it to the downside to where you can see here when I say fill the gap, this is the gap that I'm mentioning. I'm mentioning this gap here. This is a gap. Everything that you see there, well, let me turn that around. This is your gap here. Everything there is your gap. So you got to understand that the market normally fills the gap, and don't quote me on it, but from my research, it normally fills the gap within 72 hours. I can't give you a specific time frame, but within 3 days, that gap is normally filled. It doesn't happen all the time, but if it is, it's within that time frame. So I'm looking for puts. If it does not break above this level here, this gray box, I'm looking for puts to the downside if we have downward momentum. So now, this is on the 1 hour. I charted it out. Again, if you go watch yesterday's video, I show you how I chart them out. So you can see we have a high right here. This is the high. So we waiting. If it breaks this level and then breaks this level, we're looking for it to break that level there. That's it. That's all we're looking for. It looks easy. It looks simple until the market is actually moving. So that's why I do these replays, and I'm going to show you exactly the trade I took, and you can learn from my mistake. That's really all I do this for, so that others can learn and they could just learn from my mistake. But I know how to read the charts. It's more of setting the stop loss, set it and forget it, and be mentally strong to just know that, hey, it's either going to hit your stop loss or it's going to hit your take profit. So just have patience, have trust in my market analysis. That's it. I just need to have faith and have trust in it every single time. I have it some days, and then other days I'm second guessing, which I shouldn't be doing that, because I understand how this moves. You can see my Instagram, which the link is in the description below. You can check the Instagram and see that everything that I say, if this, then that. That's all. And I follow that direction. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, so excuse me early. So let's go ahead and let's get back. Let's go down to the 15-minute. So we're going to go down to the 15-minute time frame here. So let's turn on our volume really quick so we can see when the market opens. And we're going to turn on our ORB. So you can see here that the market is not yet open. And we are going to, we don't want it to be times 5. Let's go times 1. And then we are going to play this out really quick. So right there, this is your 630 candle, okay? This green line here and this red line that you see below, which hopefully, these lines here, green line, red line, that's going to be your 15-minute ORB, okay? Open range breakout is what that stands for. All we're doing is waiting for it to break either one, as I said before, and we want it to retest it and then continue back into the direction of whichever way it broke. All right, so let's go ahead and play it. And this is every 15 minutes, okay? But now let me scale down to the 5. So you can see that we broke it. Now, if I go back to the 15-minute, did we break that level? Yes, we did. But we needed to break it, retest, and then go above. That's what we're waiting on it for. Let's go back to the 5-minute. So, did it retest? Did it break back to the upside? No, it did not break to the upside. But here's what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is here. We've already had it break to the downside. Now we have a big push to the downside. If I go to the 15-minute, you can see that this candle has overpowered this candle here. This candle has overpowered these other candles. So, and I also have a trend line here, as you can see, which is going to be this here. This black line that's going diagonal is my trend line. So it kind of just gives me a little more direction of where the market is going. So on this trend line here, well, not on the trend line, you see this candle just overpowered it. It broke through. So once it broke through, now this is where I got kind of off track a little bit and I second guessed myself. So what I was waiting on, let me get this circle off here. What I should have waited on was a break below that, which I took this break over here to the left. This was the break that I took. And then this was my retest. And then I was taking it to the downside. So my mistake here, you'll see in just a moment. Let me go to the 5-minute. So this is where I took this is exactly where I took the trade, okay? So this was my break to the downside, this blue candle here. That was my retest here, and then this was my push to the downside, all right? So I took my trade here. I entered here, but I set my stop loss here. I set it right at the height of this candle, so it looked like this. This was my stop loss. I'm sorry, I can't really see it while it's sitting up. So my stop loss was set there. Now, I targeted the gap fill. So when I say targeted the gap fill, let's go to the 15-minute real quick. All right. So I was targeting the gap fill, but I was stopping at like 740. Stopped it right here. So this was my target here. Let's move this out. All right, so now we're just going to play it out and see exactly what happens, and then you'll be able to see exactly where I got stopped out. Let's turn it up times 2. We're going to go 5 minutes or times 5. Let's go here. So this is where I got stopped out at, all right? So you see I got completely stopped out. Now, the real way that you are supposed to trade this here is, again, it still would have blew past my, if I would have moved it up to the 15-minute right here, if I would have done this and moved it up here past this level, I still would have got stopped out because it broke it. But if you were, I technically could have set it up here. I only risked $400, but my return was $900 if it would have closed the gap. I would have had a little bit over $900 because it was a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So actually it would have been more than that. It would have been 600% now that I'm doing the math on it. But from the top of here, pushing all the way down, if I had set my stop loss here, you would see what would have happened. Because I was okay with losing that. But I set it so tight because I believed that we had already retested it. So we were moving back down to the downside. So let me turn this down just a little bit while it's moving. And then you'll be able to see exactly what happened. So we had FOMC today for Fed rates. And look at that drop. Oh my goodness. So you can see here, this drop was everything. This big old blue candle. All I had to do was set my stop loss up here at this level and we would have been okay. But I set it close, and sometimes you want to trail it tight, you know. But I was confident in this setup. I knew that we did not break our open range breakout to the high. We didn't break that yet. So there was no indication that told me that we were going to reverse. But if it did reverse and it hit up here, then that made my trade invalid. And that's just me thinking on the fly, not really setting up as I should be. So here is, get this hair on my face. But you can see that that candle had a large drop. Now, I looked at it and I wanted to get in because I said, oh, it's pushing down. But you got to remember, you never trade on the impulse. Don't trade on this going down. It pulled back on me. Now, this was my other level to re-enter into this trade. Because we broke out of here. We came back up. We retested it. And now we're pushing back down to the downside. But, excuse me, I don't like to trade. I don't like to take a trade until it breaks that low. If it doesn't break the low, you can easily get faked out. This trade could have came down and then continued to push up higher. So that's why I stayed out. I didn't take another trade today, but let's see exactly how this played out. Let me drag this all the way over. Let's play it some more, because right now we are sitting at 12, so 11:55. So we got about another hour and 5 minutes left into the market. Look, TP hit. The TP is hit. It is blown past the TP. And again, it's not even closing yet. It's not even closing. This is at 12:35. So 12:20. This would have been the move that I would have taken, which would have been here. Now, I seen this all happen, but I was in the car. I was going to pick up our daughter. So I couldn't trade it. Wasn't going to trade while I was driving. But this is the trade that I was looking for originally, was for this type of setup. You see how we had a push to the upside, and then we came right back down. The moment we closed below this low here was the indication to get in. Set your stop loss here, which is the same thing I did on the last trade, and let it ride. Let it rip, right? This thing from, see how long it went down. So from 746 all the way down before the market, 739. So if you trade SPX, you had a 60-point move. Over here, you had a $6 move, which would have changed your life. It would have changed your whole entire day in your perspective on trading, okay? So that's my trade analysis for today. The same thing that I set up every single time is exactly what I use on every single time that I trade. As you can see, it works. Sometimes it's just all about position and about timing. So my target was right projection, wrong entry. That's all that this was. I'm not gonna say I should have moved my stop loss up, because shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you didn't. So that's really all it is to it. I'm gonna continue to work on it. The days that you lose are the days that you just adjust. And I don't journal things down like physically. I don't journal it down. I like to talk to ChatGPT. So I put all my stuff into a ChatGPT system. I put the image like this here. I take this image, I put it in there, and then I give my market analysis on it, and I tell it exactly how I felt. Was the trade, did it follow my rules? Was it an A+ setup? How was the execution? What I could have done better in order to validate this trade, just in case it presents itself again. So that's just all that I do. I don't really, and then I go back to ChatGPT and tell it'll. I just have it be my mentor. I have it be my coach for trading. So it holds me accountable every single day when I have to put that in there. So I had a loss today of $147. I risked 400, and again, it just hit my stop loss. And as you can see, we had a little bit of consolidation, but after FOMC is when everything took that push. So I told myself I was going to stay out the market. So that's another thing too. I said, hey, you should stay out the market. But I said, hey, my setup presented itself, so I took it. That's really all that it was. So, man, just stay locked in. Don't give up. Don't quit. Again, I've lost a lot of money. I've made a lot of money. But I know that in the end, this is what's going to change not only my life, but my family's life. It's going to open up doors that I've never seen before, and I've never seen anything like this. As I tell everybody that I've spoken to that ask about this, because I don't tell everybody, but the ones that I have spoken to, I always tell them, because, like my close family, things like that, know that I do this. And I always tell them, man, it should be illegal. Like, it should be 100% illegal, but I'm glad that it's not, and I'm glad that we get the opportunity to execute at a high level on this. So I truly appreciate y'all tapping in with me. If you find this information valuable or useful, make sure that you share it to somebody. Not only like it, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to continue to drop these videos like this every day. Also, I do want to tell y'all, if y'all are trading SPY tomorrow, what I'm looking for is a swing trade. If it gives me any indication on a higher time frame that we're going to be swinging back up, the gap was filled, and typically after a gap fill, there's a pushback to the upside. So I will be looking for entries to the upside if it does present itself. If not, continue to ride it with the trend. The trend is your friend, so remember that. But I truly appreciate y'all, man. Have an incredible night, and God bless y'all.